Hi there, I'm Dylanson, and after 14 years of putting it off, I'm going to learn myself how to code. But there's just a few problems because, first off, I don't really know how to code right now. I guess that the total amount of words I've coded in the entirety of my life is, well, probably less than 200. And secondly, at this time, I have no idea how to learn how to code, so I guess we're going to just have to find out. Yes, I guess you could say I'm a total beginner, but let's just do it anyway. I hope you'll join me on this quest to become a professional coder. But for now, yes, it's amateur hour. So yes, the idea behind amateur hour is to learn ourselves how to code in increments of about an hour. And I guess that because this is the first episode and we have no idea how to learn ourselves how to code, I think we'll just go to Google and, ask how we do this. So here we are. Okay, well, task number 1. How to learn to code. How to learn programming, the guide I wish I had when I started. Okay, here's a bit we find interesting. So I guess that this guide is recommending me to learn how to use the command line first. I don't know. I think we're going to just check a different guide. So I kind of like this part. They recommend you to think about why you want to learn to program, and in our case, we just want to know if we can, that's part of it. But also we would like to see if someday in the future it would be possible to work as a programmer. It says here, most professionals recommend learning Python, C# or JavaScript, and I think I'd really like to learn C#. If you don't mind practicing solo, check out the Odin project, a free option that pulls together some of the best open source content for turning a coding newbie into a programmer. Okay. We'll check that out later. Want more one-on-one coaching and career prep? Try signing up for the subscription model certification courses from Udacity or Treehouse. That's also an option, of course, but that costs money. Wait, there are lectures on YouTube from Harvard about introduction to computer science. I really love using YouTube, so I'm definitely gonna do that as well. I think this is the first of the sites they recommend that actually give assignments to practice with, free code camp, and I really like to practice that with as well. They also talk about using Minecraft or code in games, so programming games, but for now I think we're going to stick to these sites. It says here to celebrate small victories, so here's to me making my very first episode of Amateur Hour. It's kind of interesting to see them recommend getting either a mentor or mentoring someone on how to learn coding. I mean, if you're really a novice and you're reading this, then this doesn't really help, does it? So yeah, according to Wikipedia, The course CS50 teaches you how to program C, Python, SQL, HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Okay. Also teaches fundamental computer science concepts, including arrays and data structures, and the Flask web framework. Okay, sure. Well, I guess we're just going to watch the first course then. He just showed the first problem they themselves worked on. It was a printout of Hello World, and I kind of like that. I also think that one of the first things I want to make is just a very simple Hello World printout, because, you know, that's where we all have to start, right? So they just talked about how to count binary, but now he's talking about how to represent letters. And I'm like, okay, but if you represent letters by numbers, then how do you actually make the original number again? Because they said that capital A is the number 65, but what if you ever want to represent the number 65? Wouldn't the computer just say, hey, wait a second, this is not the number 65, this is capital A. So I guess we'll hear some. So he just talked a lot about how to change binary numbers into all sorts of output on your computer, how you could use zeros and ones to eventually represent text or images or music, so that's kind of interesting. And I guess with that we've come to the end of our first amateur hour. We've learned now that we want to learn how to program, and we've seen that we could follow this CS50 course from Harvard, I think, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. I hope very much that in our very next amateur hour we'll actually put down our first lines of code, because talking about the minor victories which we earlier had in our online sheet, that would be quite a nice victory to achieve. So yeah, I hope that in the next amateur hour we put our first lines of code onto the computer, and yeah, I hope to see you in the next episode.